All right. I don't know. Gino Ariema is on my, and Angel Reese are on my chat. Hey, Gino, how's that? How's it? Oops. Gino, how's those predictions looking about what you said? I'm going to close the other one. So can you hear me, Gino? Can you guys hear me now? Joseph, can you hear me? All right. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden it was working and they said the screen froze. So anyway, it looks like Angel Reese didn't fake her injury. She's going to have surgery in a couple weeks, and it's going to be in a hard cast for 4 weeks and a soft cast for 2 weeks. She's got a small break in her bone. They said she didn't have to have surgery. She could have played with pain, but she didn't want to. Gino's here to tell us how wrong he was about Angel, right, Gino? Jordan Love faked his injury too, he said. Yes. Yeah, there's another lawsuit with Deshaun Watson. This one has to do with sexual assault. I thought that was filed before, but there's a new one again. So who's playing tonight? The Jets and San Francisco, right? Let's start a poll. Any sport? Why, Joseph? What do you want to talk about? Football is my favorite sport. So if you want to talk about football, it's fine. You guys always seem to want to talk about Caitlyn Clark. Yeah, there's a new lawsuit, Deshaun Watson. Let me just see. I saw that on ESPN. Let me just see what this it says here. Assault and battery. A woman showed up in her apartment for a date, and she goes in the bathroom to put on makeup, and he's lying in his bed naked or something. He tells her to massage him all over the place. Then he raped her, supposedly. I don't know what this is called. I don't know why she just doesn't call the cops. So Watson sexually assaulted the woman for several minutes before she escaped and grabbed a heavy piece of decor for self-defense. Oh, okay. Angel Reese. Let's see. Reese explains injury. Doctors. Oops. Let's see. I could either get surgery or not have surgery. She didn't explain it very well. She said the risk of not having surgery, I could literally have arthritis at 20 years old. That wasn't an option. So why would they tell him that? The bone was literally cracked and completely shattered. Right now, it's like a hairline. They're going to put a small screw in it, and it wasn't going to get any bigger. Hard cast for 4 weeks, soft cast for 2. That's what she said. Brain transplant. It could be. Was this a girlfriend? Are you talking about the lawsuit? They said it was a date. He sounds like a jerk. So I don't know. Let me see Deshaun Watson. Let me just see if I can find that article again. He hasn't played. His career has been like crappy ever since all the accusations came out. Yeah, it's very strange that it's all coming from Angel Reese and nothing's coming from the doctor. Nothing's coming from the Chicago Sky. Yeah, she's out for the year. That's for sure. But there's only like 5 games left, so it's not very long. But she's going to be in a cast for weeks. I just don't understand it. I've never seen it handled this way before. She announces it on social media. The team doesn't announce it. She comes out of the game. Her wrist seems fine. Supposedly she's questionable. Next thing you know, 45 minutes later, it says she's out. So I don't know what's going on. You're not supposed to understand. It's Angel Reese. You can't understand anything. Angel Reese, you can't understand her. Josh Allen is playing, but it's his left wrist, fortunately. They said he's going to be able to. He's cleared to play on the next game. When is the next game? Use the salt to keep the demons. Let me just see. Let me see the NFL schedule this week. I haven't looked at the schedule for this week. Coming up. Let's see, week 2. Yeah, they're playing Thursday. Buffalo at Miami. So he said he's to be ready to play. Luckily, he's not a throwing arm, like I said. But let me just see where they said there was an article in Yahoo or ESPN. I forgot where I saw it. Let me just see. Yeah, here it is. Cleared to play against Dolphins. Let's see. Josh is the AJ Wilson of the NFL. He's already been anointed the MVP. It's not that bad. Yeah, everyone I disliked her when she did the ring thing, and I didn't even know who she was. She did the ring thing and the "I Now You See Me" thing, and just stalked Clark and gloated and taunted her after the game. That's not trash talking. So I've disliked her ever since then. And she just becomes more and more unlikable. But when she cheered a cheap shot, that just shows you how classless she is. And Caitlyn Clark keeps taking the high road too. AJ fears Clark. I think everyone fears Clark because she's so unique. And they won without Angel. Let's see. Here's what Josh Allen says. No, their second team All Pro nickel cornerback is not going to play. Uh-oh. Allen suffered his injury in a rushing touchdown in the fourth quarter. He fell on his right elbow and he made contact with the turf. His left hand was wrapped. Said after the game it was fine and did not go into the x-ray room. Oh. And Aaron Rodgers tonight at age 40 hasn't played in a year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah. Angel Reese is not my favorite player. Asia Wilson's not likable either. In fact, anybody connected with the WNBA is not likable, almost by default. That's just my impression of the WNBA. Asia's always pulling the race card. She's obsessed with it. I don't know. It's just very disappointing. Imagine if you're Caitlyn Clark and you go, I'm stuck with these people. She has to take the high road like 24/7 just because she's worried about her sponsors too. Well, all I know is Christy Sides is the worst coach in the world. I don't care if they're winning or not. They're only winning because Caitlyn Clark doesn't listen to her and plays up tempo basketball. Yeah, I mean that's been the obvious starting lineup for a long time. Everybody but Christy Sides can figure it out. I don't understand. I mean, last year Lexi Hall played for them last year, and so did Wallace. I don't know what Lexi Hall did playing wise that she didn't get much playing time in the beginning of the year this year, because it was obvious to me she was better than Wallace every time she went in since game one. I know she wasn't shooting well, but neither was Wallace. So I don't understand why Wallace was starting. Coach Sides called her a lockdown defender. Everybody laughed. AJ is a great player, but boring to watch. Yeah, well, all the players in the WNBA almost are boring to watch. Name an exciting player besides Clark. Enrique, kind of Kennedy Carter. Copper's kind of exciting in the fence when she can create her own shot. Sabrina is kind of exciting, but really, I mean, all the forwards and centers in the league are just boring to watch. None of them are exciting. Unlike the NBA, where some of the forwards and centers are very agile, they can jump, they can run, they can dunk. So we'll see. I don't think Asia Wilson is going to play on. I don't think I don't think. I don't think Asia Wilson's going to play on Wednesday. She's in a boot. It doesn't bode well for playing. Well, I guess the reason is because Wheeler is their starting point guard last year, and she makes $220,000 a year. That's all I can tell you. I don't think they're going to keep Wheeler. I don't know why they kept her anyways. They knew Caitlyn Clark was going to be the real deal. No, he means Feg Bentley, not Saxton. She doesn't play. Saxton, it's we don't even know why she's on the roster. They kept her instead of what's her name? No, I just drew a blank. Yes. We've been arguing with Stides all year on that. Brad, anybody could coach the Fever better. My pet dog that doesn't exist could coach the Fever better. She's clueless. Cece she wants to punch her out so bad. She does. I'd want to punch her out. I know that. No, I don't hit women, but she must be infuriating. Like Caitlyn Clark, it's throwing Caitlyn Clark off mentally to play with such a lousy coach. Just imagine if she played the entire year, with a real coach, and maybe where she wasn't triple teamed and assaulted, got the benefit of calls as refs once in a while. They didn't play 11 games in 12 days. Just imagine her statistics right now if you took away those first 10 games and stuff. So anyway. Oh, look at Mr. Terribly with it, Mr. Sympathetic. Be patient. I'm not going to be patient. She's had all year to figure out the simplest things. Really. She's the most incompetent coach I've ever come across in sports. And I've seen some really bad coaches. All right. I agree, Mark. Sides will never be any good. I agree with that too. Here's the problem. She has a personality. Anyone who throws their players underneath the bus that much has real personality issues. That's number one. She's been doing that since the preseason for no reason. She doesn't take any responsibility herself. So she's got obviously insecurities. She lacks the intelligence to make adjustments. She's been around basketball long enough. She should be able to figure out some of this stuff. She's got 3 assistant coaches or whatever it is. Yeah, sure, anyone but her. And they can't figure it out either, or she doesn't listen to her assistant coaches. She keeps wanting to play basketball from 40 years ago. She doesn't figure out how to draw plays to get Clark open once in a while. She won't give her the ball in the fourth quarter. Yeah. I don't think Sides would be a coach, period, if she's this bad. They get 6. Well, we know which 5. There's only 5 that I really, those are the starting 5. And I guess I would, I guess I would protect Melissa Smith. If I got a new coach, I may be able to turn Melissa Smith into a good player. She does have talent. So the 5 that we think should start, everybody thinks should start. Tammy Fig-Benley, Caitlyn Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and Hull. And I guess I'd protect Melissa Smith. Everybody else is expendable. When is our favorite pundit going to acknowledge right now Caitlyn Clark is the best player in the league, not the best player over the entire league, but the best player now? It's by outside's contract. Oh, Bobby, you. I do not think Caitlyn Clark is the best player in the league yet. Do I think she makes everyone else around her better than anyone else in the league? Yes, by a large margin. That doesn't make her the best player. Will she be the best player in the league next year? Most likely. I think this is the last year A'ja Wilson will be the best player in the league. That's what I think. And I think A'ja Wilson deserves MVP, but they have some guy wrote an article for the WNBA website and had Caitlyn Clark 6. It does make her the best player. No, it doesn't. It makes her better at making anybody else around her better. But individually, I don't think she's as good a player as A'ja Wilson right now. She may be somewhere between second and fifth best player. In fact, I think she is. Brianna Stewart, Collier, Sabrina. Maybe Sabrina. No, she's out producing Sabrina right now. Well, you have to compare it because, people do compare NBA players all the time in terms of who better, and they're not in the same position. I agree. Caitlyn Clark still has flaws in her game that she has to fix. And one is the turnovers, and I don't think the turnovers are important as the haters think so. But the other is her defense, and it's more the on-ball defense. The off-ball defense and the rebounding is good. Yeah. My guess is she's around, in terms of best player, you could say she's up there with Collier and Brianna Stewart for like second, third, fourth best player. That's my guess. MVP, same thing. Brianna Stewart's a good all-around player. You guys, I wouldn't underestimate her. Her defense is getting better, but it's really inconsistent, her defense. And I'm the one that thinks she can be an excellent defender. She has all the physical skills to be an excellent defender. She still has. She doesn't bend her knees, so the woman blows by her because she doesn't have good ability to move when the woman cuts. She doesn't keep on her person, and she breaks off. She's too far away from the person, and the 3-point line. That drives me crazy. There's no reason that her and Mitchell should be playing 3 feet off their offensive players when they're on the 3-point line. Just get on them. Just get on. Quit trying to close in on a 3-point shot. That's not as effective as being on the person in the first place, where you can just jump up instead of leaning forward. I know she's a rookie. That's not the point. We're talking about whether she's the best player in the league right now. So that's irrelevant whether she's a rookie. Look, I'm a huge Caitlyn Clark fan, but I'm objective. And I'm not going to go naming her the best player or the MVP in the league before she is. Oh, Well, she wouldn't have to. She'd have more energy if they played her 34 minutes instead of 40 minutes. I don't know. I don't remember Michael Jordan saving energy for offense and never play any defense. That's all I'm saying. It isn't so much she doesn't try on defense. She has poor technique. She has poor stance. She needs to bend her knees and so she can slide her feet better and stay with her person. No, he wasn't. Jordan wasn't horrible as a rookie on defense. He was good in college on defense. That's not even true. By his third year, he should have been all pro on defense in his third year, which is really only his second and a half year. She needs to go and watch a tape or get lessons from Drew Holiday and watch how he plays defense and how he's able to keep the person with the ball in front of him most of the time. Yeah, Mr. Terrible, you got to get with reality. Her being a rookie is irrelevant to the conversation. They asked whether I thought she was the best player in the league. We're talking about MVP. I'm saying if she wants to be the best player in the league and she wants to be MVP, improve on her on-ball defense, cut down on the turnovers. Her 2-point game's coming. People complaining she didn't have anything but a drive to the right-hand side of the basket and a 3-point shot, and she's proved them wrong. She's got a floater that's working. She's hit some 2-point shots. So Drew Holiday, you never heard it's a guy. He plays for the Celtics now. He's second team All-Pro or first team All-Pro every year on defense. He was in the Olympic team. Mark Swoops. Listen to Mr. Terrible. I'd rather be objective and fair and honest than overrate her. Look, I've said some really bold things about her. Like I said, I think there's a greater than 50% chance she will be the greatest player of all time. I said I think she'll be the best player in the league next year. I think I said when she was halfway through her senior year in college, I said she was the best passer in the history of women's basketball. I said the last 2 years in college, she played at a higher level than any woman in the history of college basketball. So I've said some really complimentary and bold things. I think she makes players around her better than any woman in the history of basketball, probably. But that doesn't make her defense any better. Doesn't cut down on her turnovers. That's true. Her emotions, she's only 22. The emotions will come, but she needs to get that under control. I didn't say she was overrated. Woke black man. I just said she's not the best player in the league yet or the MVP. That's what I didn't say she was overrated. Well, I think, Rob's been asking for the zone for 35 games so far. Play some zone, even if you're not playing it all the time. Just play some zone to mix it up when you're having trouble stopping the other team. But I don't think Sides understands the zone defense, so she can't teach it. I don't know about her assistant coaches, but if she doesn't understand how to teach the zone properly, the players aren't going to know how to play it properly. It's not taught well. It seems simple, but it's not. You still have to move around and rotate. You go watch Syracuse basketball and get Jim Boeheim to come in for a week and teach them the zone. There's places that you can learn how to improve it. But Rob keeps saying that, and she won't play the zone because she doesn't understand it. Someone said to me in a comment, since we're discussing this, they said to me, well, if she's making all her teammates around her better than anybody else by a large margin, which I agree with, doesn't that make her the most valuable? And it's no. because the best player is also making her teammates better just because of the fact that they draw so much attention and is doing so many things to contribute to the team's chance of winning. And that's what Asia Wilson's doing right now. Like I said, I think it's her last year of getting MVP because I think Caitlin Clark's going to work on her game and be the best player really soon. That's all I'm saying. And she'll be the MVP. She'll be the best player. She'll be everything. But I don't want to rush it. I don't want to overstate it. Other people can, but I'm not going to do that. I didn't call her an MVP candidate until she really was turning things on. I didn't say she was one of the top 5 players in the league until she was really turning things on. But I did predict she would be first team All-Pro this year, and I predicted that in March. You come from Mark and Rob? Well, Rob's working. He'll be there Wednesday and Friday. Prodigal son is saying it. Yeah, I think she's 5th in steals, but close enough. She may have gone up to 4th or something. Yeah, Jim Boeheim. I know Jim Boeheim loves. I went to Syracuse and we have followed Syracuse. Jim Boeheim loves Caitlin Clark and thinks the criticism of her is crazy. Lexi got thrown down. That one call was so bad where Ryan Howard totally initiated the contract and drove into her almost like twice, I think, and almost like pushed her to the ground. And the ref called a foul on Lexi Hall. Luckily, it was overturned, but it should have been a charge. Hall should have been at the free throw line. Where's my Jim Brown poster? Talking to me? That's Rob. Rob is a Brown fan. He's got that little Jim Brown thing and the plastic thing in the background when we tape. I always saw Jim Brown play like one time. I was like 6 years old, and the Browns played the Packers, and I watched the game with my dad. It was in 1965, and that's the first game I remember watching. But I don't remember the game really. I just remember the Packers winning. Pete Maravich and Caitlin Clark. Really? Jim Boeheim wouldn't watch Michael Jordan? That's a bit much. Pete Maravich didn't know team ball. You know, he was an exciting player, but you can go watch games of his on TV from college. He didn't think, it didn't even seem like he was aware there was his teammates were on the court with him. Let's do it that way. Caitlin Clark is a better player than Pete Maravich because she's way more aware of her teammates being on the court than Pete Maravich. And Pete Maravich is a very exciting player, and he could score from anywhere, and in a variety of ways too. Yes, he was. I think his junior year, he led the country in scoring. He was an excellent lacrosse player. I think either he led the country in scoring or he led him to a national championship his junior year, Jim Brown. He also played basketball. He also played basketball too, I think, at Syracuse. Jim Brown was an amazing athlete. Not a good guy, but an amazing athlete. What is Swoop's status? Swoopster's retired. She's not coming back. How long ago was it, Nigel, the interview with Jim Boeheim? I saw an interview. I thought I saw an interview, excerpts of an interview with Dan Patrick. I like Dan Patrick, and he seems real level-headed, except when it came to Clark being on the Olympic team. When he got into that crap about, I don't think she's one of the top 12 players, even though how could you tell all the obstacles they gave her? And then he said they wanted to earn it, even though Diana Taurasi hadn't earned being on the team. Neither did Chelsea Gray, and she was outplaying Chelsea. I just didn't. I lost respect for Dan Patrick, not Danica Patrick. Dan Patrick. What does James Earl Jones have to do with anything? What's up, Matthew? Yeah, I'll go with maybe I saw part of it, I think. So is Diana Sora retiring? I think Clark retired her when she beat the Mercury every time. Oh, James Earl Jones died today? Oh, sorry to hear that. No, okay, I didn't see it. I saw it. I looked at Yahoo, but then I got sidetracked. So let me look. Is it? No, it is. Iconic actor James Earl Jones, widely known as the voice of Star Wars, villain Death Vader dies at 93. Wow. Well, at least he wasn't young. Great voice. Great actor. He got Oscar nominated for The Great White Hope. He played Jack Johnson, I guess. All right. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. When's Griner retirement? I don't think Griner's that old. I just think Griner's not as good a rebounder as she should be for someone that tall. In fact, if you look at Griner's career, she's never won an MVP. And coming out of college, I would have thought for sure she was going to win an MVP or two. She was runner-up one year. Why can't she jump? Griner? Yeah, she doesn't jump very well at all. I know, she's thin. Why can't she jump? Good question. But when she came out of college, she looked fairly dominant. She's won a national championship, was two-time player of the year. She should be better. I agree. She's slow. But isn't she? I mean, I can never get a confirmation on her height, but I think she's 6'9". She could be 6'7". I heard they measure people with sneakers in the WNBA, which is very weird. Yeah. I think she's a weak rebounder for someone her height. I think she rebounds like 6 rebounds a game or something. But she has a nice touch. She can score from different distances. She got a nice soft touch on her shot. But not as dominant in the WNBA as I thought she was going to be. CC smoked her. So, what was my question? I had a poll question, right? Will the Jets win tonight? 54% say no, and 46% say yes. Right. We'll see. All right. Let's see if I can get another poll question. More into offensive play. Jets are the Caitlyn Clark of the NFL this year. Caitlyn Clark's big brother played quarterback. And she has. Yeah, Bobby, all those things like the first one with this many this and this many that and that many this, I don't know. I don't get too excited about that. I like just evaluating her play and see, what she does. Every time I turn around, she sets another record for one of those things. Or 25 and 5, she has 12 of those. Now we get into the Angel Reese things because she got a bunch of double doubles. That makes her a certain level of ability. The Bills started out bad yesterday against Arizona, but they came back to win, so I was happy to see that. Yeah, she has a great all-around game, except for the two things we mentioned. She doesn't have the rookie points record yet. Who's that in your fantasy league? Well, San Francisco has been close to the Super Bowl the last couple of years. We'll see if they can do something tonight. We'll see how Aaron Rodgers plays after not playing for like a year and a half. He played 4 downs before he got injured last year. Who was the leading rookie of all time? The Bills tight end? Oh, he's on your fantasy? Oh, well, I'll talk to him for you, Matt. Oh, gosh. Oh, she'll get 50 points. She's got 4 games. How many more assists does she need? Didn't she have to need a assist to get the record too? Like 20 assists more to get the record or something? She's a one-trick pony, though. I love that. Oh, she does just shoot 3. She's a one-trick pony. How dumb do the haters look right now? She's going to be average in the WNBA. She can't dribble. Let me see all the things I heard about her. She had no real accomplishment in college. She's horrible at defense. She can't create her own shot. She can only dribble with the right hand. She can't dribble. She's slow. One person said she was too short to play defense, even though she's tall for a guard. I'll send her some flowers instead. Oh, Augustus was a great player, though. What did she average? What did Augustus average per game? Did she average like 20 points a game as a rookie? Did she take more shots than Clark? Is that like, what's her name? Like Simone something Augustus? Let me look up her her numbers while you do that. Yeah, they played fewer games back then. I think they started out with like 32 games or something. Let me just see. Showtime talk. What's Showtime talk? How about on her turf? On her turf, those 2 women hate Caitlyn Clark. Let's see. All right. So Augustus averaged 21.9 points per game her rookie year. Let's see. She shot 456, 353 from threes. Only had 1.5 assists. Was she? What position did she play? Isn't she a guard? She was 6 foot tall. She's 40 years old. She's an assistant coach at LSU right now. It doesn't say how many shots she took. What show is that? Showtime Talk? Who's on Showtime Talk? Well, Cooper doesn't count. She wasn't a rookie. She'd been playing overseas for like 15 years. Oh, they're called Showtime Talk. A couple of colored guys. You call them colored guys, meaning they're people of color. You're not sure what race they are. There was the 3 black guys that said that 2 of them said Caitlyn Clark is not a WNBA point guard. That was in the beginning of the season. So what's the exact name of the channel so I can look it up? Showtime Talk is the name of the channel, or what is it? By the way, you can make contributions to the channel with super chats and super thanks down below. Let me look it up. Showtime Talk, is that the name of this channel? Are these the same guys? The same guys you're talking about? I laid them out. I don't know if these 3 guys. 2 of them were really fat, and there's a 3rd guy. And I said, I just came upon their channel for some reason. I don't know. They were saying something about something. But what's in it? Give me the exact name of the channel so I can look it up. Someone write down. You guys are. Anyways, they said that the one guy says Caitlyn Clark is not a WNBA point guard. And the other guy said, I knew that when I saw her play at Iowa. The other guy didn't say anything. So I called him out on it, and he goes, one guy played D1 basketball. I said, I don't care if you're Jordan and Magic Johnson. That's insane. They said, oh, because she's a good 3-point shooter, you should make her point guard. No, you don't turn the best passing guard ever into a shooting guard. Showtime with the TIYME. Okay, On Point Sports. Let me look it up. I'll see if it's the same guys, but I don't know. This is how long they've been around. Let me see. Okay. They've been around. Oh, they've been around for like 10 years, and they still only have 26,000 subscribers. So they haven't been that popular. Okay, 10 years. It started in 2014. And they got 26,000 subscribers. Let's see what they say. All right. Everything's about Angel Reese. Asia Wilson ends ESPN fake MVP Reese conversation. Yeah, I'm looking at their videos now, so give me a second. They never talk about Caitlyn Clark, it looks like. They don't talk about the best player. Oh, they said Caitlyn Clark unleashes on inconsistent Phoenix Mercury. Oh, they said something positive about her. Hang on. 3 weeks ago. All right, well, let's see what their most popular videos get. Their most popular video is only 27,000. I've got videos that got 60,000 views. So they're not very popular. That's not even that high for someone who's been around for 10 years. All right, they're not a very good channel. Awful coaching. Yeah, the awful coaching guy obviously knows a lot about basketball. The one that does the videos where he's yelling into the screen. He tore apart Caitlyn Clark's defense about 2 months ago, but then now he's saying she's too good for the WNBA in terms of her offense. So you act like people act like it's an individual sport. So she didn't win a state championship in high school. How good were her teammates? You know, what are they going to say when she wins the WNBA title? And she's going to win one unless she gets some serious injury or just quits the WNBA because she can't stand the people. Yeah. It's true. Good point, prodigal son. I wish I could find those 3 guys that said she shouldn't be a point guard. I it's in my comments under, like, if I could go back as far as I can under my different account, but I don't know how to go back any farther. There was also this one guy called Black Magic. He doesn't like Caitlyn Clark either. He said she put out a video if Caitlyn Clark was black, and said she had no real accomplishments. And basically, she got all this publicity, even though she never won anything. Is that what Jason Whitlock said? Jason Whitlock is very hot and cold. Sometimes he says something very insightful and unique. Other times he's an idiot. So I don't know what to say. I agree she complains too much. We talked about that today in our videos. If you heard our video. I also think she's got shafted by the refs the entire year, and I'd be pissed too. Even if they are valid, what are they? I don't understand your sentence. Even if they are valid, even if it's valid that she's getting shafted, I agree it doesn't look good. Honestly, I'd want to punch out half the refs in the league if I was her. You guys sound like Showtime live watch along. Why is that? See, the difference between her and Luka is that Luka's not getting shafted by the refs. He just doesn't like it when he doesn't get all the calls, or sometimes he gets a bad calls. That happens in basketball. I don't think he's on the short end of the calls. Not in general. Caitlyn Clark's on the short end of the calls since she's been in the league. I don't think she was in college. I think she has been in the WNBA. So it's not like I think that all the time. So does she complain too much? Yeah. Does she have a right to? Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah, and that's we talked about that too, Scott. If her coach would lay into the refs more for her not getting calls, then she wouldn't complain and whine as much. I think, as far as I know, Coach Sides has got one technical the entire year, and that was after she said that Caitlyn Clark shouldn't complain to the ref. That's my job. And then everyone says, well, you never complained to the refs. You've never gotten a technical. You never called them out. So the next game she got a technical. That was like week 8. And that's it. That's it. She's afraid to complain to the refs. She's afraid to get a technical. It's 1 point. The amount of momentum it can change, and the fact that how to make your team feel that you're really sticking up for them is well worth the 1 point. Nice polish, sir. Well, I shave on Mondays. Yeah, and one technical. Yes. I can tell you what to use. It's called intuition. Look it up. INTUITY. Go look it up. It's got soap in it already. Yeah. Well, the bad calls, you only get one challenge, I think, in the WNBA, and if you get it right, you get another one. So you got to make sure you get it right. I think you should get more than one challenge, especially since how bad the refs are. The refs are so bad, you need like 12 challenges in the WNBA. Let me see. I can get the spelling for you. Hang on a second. There you go. There you go, Matt. That's a spelling. They're blades with soap on them already. A guy came up to me and he said, "My wife told me to use this." And then when the soap runs out, you can use moisturizer on your head or soap. You know, I don't know what takes so long in some of these easy calls too. Sometimes they have to try to determine if they got to reset the clock or not, to be fair. And so there's usually the impression I get is if a call was made by a referee, he's out of the decision, and it's the referee at the command center and the two other refs look at it. That's my understanding. If it's not made by a specific ref, then I think it's the head referee and the assistant head referee, and then the command center are the three people involved in the call. That's what I can figure out, although I can't verify that on the internet. But they did say they're talking to the command center when they look at the reviews. Yeah, you buy that, and you can buy replacement blades. You're welcome. All right. Well, if anyone talks about football, I will. But it sounds like you guys want to talk about Caitlyn Clark again. I'm waiting to find out how long Jordan Love's going to be out. I'm a Packers fan, so they were terrible in the red zone against the Eagles, and they should have won that game. And they just re-signed him. I watched the first half of Cleveland and Dallas. Cleveland didn't look good. Rob's not happy. He's a Cleveland Browns fan. And I was too tired to sit up and watch the game last night. I mean, they don't end till like 11:30. I usually get up early. So, I saw something in the news. What was in the news? Oh, yes, I did see Mick Hoops put out one where it was an article by that guy, some guy at WNBA site who said Caitlyn Clark was 6 in the MVP voting. Who did Rob play for? He went to our high school. He was a year ahead of me, around to Gord High. And then he played at Nazareth College, and then he coached boys and girls basketball. He liked defense. He could score, but he liked the defense. He said he considers defense his specialty. Four to 6 weeks. I've heard different. I heard 2 to 4. I heard 3 to 4. I heard 4 to 6. I've heard all sorts of things about Jordan Love, but they don't have a good backup quarterback. They traded for one, but they had another quarterback and another one. I moved back for Vadim. That's just the way I was sitting. I move around. Rob Sides. If I was the general manager and Rob was the coach, The Fever would have won like 8 games more. Mick Talk Soup can do 3 videos. He does the same topic like 12 times, though. How many times is he going to do a topic on Gino's take about Caitlyn Clark? He's already done the same take 4 times on that. He did one day. He did 21 videos in one day, one time. 21 videos. He doesn't edit them either. He like looks up things while he's talking. He just makes them 8 minutes long because he gets an extra commercial after 8 minutes. Not sure who this Gino is. Are you serious, Prodigal? Is it a joke? Washed up college house. And Vadim, though, he may be washed up, but I think Connecticut's going to be good this year. They did pretty well last year in the NCAA tournament. They had like 5 injuries, and then he got like three good recruits. So South Carolina is going to be good. USC's got picked up some good recruits to help Juju Watkins. So they're going to be good. He ate a lot of crow. He's got mud on his face. He looks really dumb, and non-objective. He looks very like allegiance to his players. Mick goes psycho during the games. Watch out for Iowa. I don't know. They lost Caitlyn Clark. I heard they pick up another player, but a transfer. McCaffrey not playing for the 49ers? Why? Yeah, didn't Lucy, she transferred, right? She transferred from another college. She saw an opening. Well, one thing is, though, is Hannah Stokey was a sophomore and made leaps and bounds from her freshman year to her sophomore year. She may be a really good player this year. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hurt the fact that doesn't have Caitlyn Clark setting her up for passes or not. But Hannah Stokey's a very good athlete. Very good, could be a very good player this year for Iowa. I'm not saying she's going to be first or second team All-American, but she was Big Ten. She made all Big Ten last year as a sophomore. So, but she's the only other player that I thought was, really good last year that wasn't a senior. Flage can play. She can play. She's going to be one of the top players in the country this year, I think. I don't know how good her rap is because I'm not into rap, but she can play basketball. So we'll see how she does this year. She got better. I think, wasn't she a sophomore last year? She's athletic and quick. Yeah. I wouldn't sleep on her. She may be a big time player by the time she graduates. Both Flage and Stokey. Olsen from Villanova. Oh yeah, that's right, Villanova. Because Villanova is like a half hour from me. I forgot. I didn't know anything about her before she transferred. I don't follow Villanova women's basketball. There's supposed to be an item at one time. No, I don't care. I can't imagine having to deal with Reese's personality. Flage at least seems like a decent person. All right, Lucy Olsen. All right. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, injuries can sometimes just be bad luck. It looks like she's injury prone and fragile, but who knows? You don't know. mean, look, we'll just find out what happened. Caitlyn Clark obviously doesn't get injured easily, but it's going to happen someday. I know Cameron Brink, she was just dribbling. That was weird. Look at she was just dribbling and twisted her leg. She's got long legs, but so we'll see. Paige is a great player. She'll be a great NBA player, and so will Juju Watkins be a great player. Although Juju Watkins is not this perfect basketball player that everybody thinks she was. She took more shots than Caitlyn Clark did her freshman year, and was clearly less efficient than Caitlyn Clark, and then had more turnovers than assists. But she's a very good rebounder, a very good scorer, and a very good defender for a freshman. It's going to be between her and Paige Beckers for Player of the Year. You raised tough girls in CC in Iowa. Yeah, I think, but sometimes injuries are just luck. So, yes, everyone brags on Juju. But go look her stats up. Her freshman year really wasn't any better than Caitlyn Clark's freshman year. In fact, I could argue Caitlyn Clark had a better freshman year. But it's close. Clark's shooting percentage was clearly higher. And yeah, you never know, though. Like I said, we didn't know. Like Michael Jordan broke his foot his second year, and then he never got injured again until he was like 39 years old. So you never know whether someone's going to get injured or once or gets several times. But she's young. When you get like 33, 35, the injuries start piling up. So we'll find out. You start pulling leg muscles and stuff easily. So, yeah, women's college basketball may be interesting this year. So we'll see what happens. I don't think I'll follow as closely as I did last 2 years without Caitlyn Clark. But I will tune in to see how Paige and Juju are doing. And I'll watch the NCAA tournament when it gets down to the end. Will A-Rod play all 17 games this year? A-Rod. When does women's college basketball start? I think I had looked it up. It's around November, early November, I think. Yeah, unless they change the rules, Scott. They have a collector's bargaining agreement, I think. Players collective bargaining agreement that comes up again after the end of 2025 season. They could change the rule on that. But as of right now, she can't come out. Yeah. College basketball season. I have the date written down for my channel. I looked it up. McCaffrey has a calf. Did he get injured in a preseason game or in practice? Because he probably barely played in preseason. College basketball starts November 6th. At least I have it written down for college basketball. It's probably men's, but the women's probably starts at the same time. Well, you can Google it. November 4th? Okay. That's men's starts on November 6th. That's regular season, November 4th. Yeah, so check it about November 4th or no, he's saying. Do I think she will not And I don't think she should. I think they should wallow in their own stupid investments. How is that going to be successful? They wasn't even successful without Caitlin Clark. Brianna Stewart is hated on Caitlin Clark. She should just, and she's one of the runners of that league, one of the organizers of that league. I think she should tell her to go to hell. That's what I would do, and go play over in Europe. Why do you want to play 3-on-3 basketball, anyways? I think Caitlin Clark is better at 5-on-5 than 3-on-3. So I saw the 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics. I thought it was boring. So I don't know. I think 5-on-5 is better. She said that, Rebecca? I haven't heard her even answer questions about 3-on-3. One hater league at a time is enough for CC. No, I mean, the season's going to end in early October, probably. So she could take off the rest of the year and then play in a couple months in Europe for a while. Because they only play a 40-game season, remember? So even though she did play in college, but generally, I don't know, that wouldn't be enough games for me. I'd want to play more than 40 games a year. NBA plays 82. If I was an athlete, I wouldn't want to just play 40 games. Put her on the team with Reese and Carrington. Should they put Kennedy Carter on it too? Kennedy Carter got 28 points, and they won without Reese. So much Reese for Reese being so valuable to the team. Carter is the female Everson, except she doesn't have a 3-point shot really. She's perfectly capable of it. She just needs to work on it, I guess. I don't know why she hasn't really concentrated on developing it. She's a good athlete. I'm not sure why. I mean, that could really add something to her game. Now you got to go out there and guard her at the 3-point line, and then she just blows right by you with her quick first step. I think she'd be a dominant player if she got a good 3-point shot. She's a psycho, though. Yeah, I didn't know much about the WNBA. I am still in shock over the treatment of Caitlin Clark. It's like it's like bizarre to me. It's like a dream. It's like a bad dream for Caitlin Clark. Can you imagine if you're Caitlin Clark and you're like dreaming about playing in this league that you looked up to all these players your whole life, and you get in the league and the league's a cesspool? Yeah, I think it's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you though, Carter, man, she's Carter and Copper. They have like really good 2-point games. They can really drive to the basket and create their own shots. Not many players in the league can. Oh, we can hear that again. No one believed in her. If people, no one believed her, she wouldn't have been drafted in the number 7. She would have drafted been like 36. I love that no one believed in me. When your numbers go down from your junior year to your senior year, and you miss 2 weeks of the season because you got some mental issues with and fighting with your coach, maybe that's why people think you're an issue. You're a problem. Maybe. Yeah. She's just so unlikable. Sorry. I try to be open-minded, but she's just a very unlikable person. I don't find Breanna Stewart or Asia Wilson likable either. Well, I would not have drafted her 7th. I thought she should have gone right after Cardoza. I was surprised she was listed as 7th by the experts. And then she went 7th. I can see Clark, Cameron Brink, and Cardoza going ahead of her. I don't know. Rakia Jackson was ranked ahead of her, and she never even made an All-American team. So, I mean, I'm not saying Rakia Jackson's not talented. I'm just saying, like, I looked up her numbers and never made an All-American team, and she's like 3rd. I've never seen a person never make an All-American team ranked 3rd or 4th in the draft. I've never seen that before. It's because she went to Tennessee? I don't know. Tell me. Like I said, maybe Rakia Jackson ends up a fantastic player. I don't know. I just don't know why she got ranked so high. So anyway, you never know. But I would have drafted her 4th. I don't know why. Didn't Aaliyah Edwards go before her? Or no, J.C. Sheldon? I didn't think J.C. Sheldon was anything special. She's solid. She's a good defender and good player, but NBA players are so, I don't know, football players seem entitled to. I don't think he owns Reebok. He's president of their basketball division. That's my understanding of his title. Whether he's got ownership in it too, I don't know. But that's what his title is. Yeah, please. I would have never let Celeste Taylor go away without making sure she wasn't going to be a future star. Let me look up her numbers with Mercury. She's back with Mercury now. She had a 7-day contract with Mercury, 7-day contract with someone else. And then she's back with the Mercury. I know Shaq's, that was his first signing, but I don't know if he's an owner or not. He could be, but it's my understanding with Reebok, he's the president of their basketball division, and Allen Iverson's his vice president. So let me look up Celeste Taylor. She's with Phoenix, right? Let me look up the stats with that so far this year. But she doesn't. Her stats aren't going to show up because their defensive stats aren't going to show up. But let's see. Let's see how Celeste Taylor's doing. All right. So she's played in 18 games. It's averaging 12 minutes, 2.3 points, 0.9 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 0.5 steals, 0.3 blocks, 0.8 turnovers, 41% field goal percentage, and 31 point from threes. So she's not tearing it up, but she's on the roster. Only 12 minutes a game. It's hard to really get going. I think she had a 7-day with Mercury, a 7-day with Sun, and then she got signed for the rest of the year with. The reason they like her is because she plays really good defense, and the Fever suck at defense, especially in the perimeter. So she could come in if a guard. I mean, there's so many guards that have had like season best career days against the Fever. And if someone's hot, you just stick her in for defense for half a quarter or something like that to slow them down and give a rest to your starting guards. That's why she could be valuable. It isn't that she's a great player; she's just an excellent defender, and she could give them some depth. Because they need depth if they're going to run. That's why I don't understand why you go from starting Wallace to not playing her any minutes. But that's me. I don't know. I wouldn't play my players 38 and 40 minutes. I'd play them 34. So I could run. I don't want to play dinosaur basketball like Sides does, though. Well, she was never given a chance here to develop for Celeste Taylor. So we'll see. But, they lack defense. She was 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in 2 different conferences. And she's fast, too. She's athletic. So she could run with Clark and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not saying she's a superstar, but they need defense. And they need depth. And they need speed. And she could hit a 3 a little bit. Let me see what her college stats were. I think now she's at 31.3%, but let me see what her college stats are. Because I think I looked it up before and I can't remember. College stats. She shot overall. She shot .311 from the 3, 320 her senior year. So she's not a big time scorer, but she averaged 2.5 steals and 0.9 blocks her senior year, and 10 points. And 3.4 assists. So she can pass a little. She got 4 rebounds. She has a pretty good all-around game. She's just not much of a scorer. Well, Berger should get playing time too, but what can I say? She's a point guard, and they have. What are they going to do? They pay Wheeler $220,000. She's a experienced point guard. I don't think she's that good a point guard, but Berger got playing time last year, and they drafted Clark, so that was the problem. Now there's 3 point guards. Our point is they should have waived Saxon because she doesn't play, and at least Taylor can be there in case you need her. And if she had developed her, maybe she, like I said, she could go in there and be a stopper or give someone a rest for 6 minutes, and not lose anything when you go in there. Yeah, Berger's a fine little player, but like I said, she's not getting any playing time either. Wheeler's an undrafted overpaid player. I know. What can I say? I guess they were desperate for a point guard at the time. There's not very many good point guards in the WNBA. And so how many good point guards in the WNBA? Natasha Cloud, Caitlyn Clark, Chelsea Gray. The list isn't very long. Sabrina Eskew is really more of a shooting guard, but she can play point guard. Same thing with Jackie Young. She's more of a shooting guard. There's not a lot of good passers in the WNBA. Let's see who leads the league in stats. I mean, you got someone like Alyssa Thomas, who's a forward, who's second in the league in assists. Oh, Skylar Diggins-Smith is a good point guard, too. I forgot about her. That's about it. Well, I would argue if they had a player that was hot, who was torching the Fever, she would get more than 5 or 6 minutes that game. Taylor. And that's happened several times against the Fever. Some player had their, like, Kelsey Plum had her best game of the year against him. Enrique's gone off against him. What's her name? Jewel Lloyd's been shooting poorly all year, and she plays twice. She plays well against him. Yeah, Sheldon, she played good defense on Clark. I think she's a good player. I think they have 5 good players, Vadim, just that one of them is injured a lot, and that's Temi. Yeah, okay. Katie Lou seems to have lost her confidence. She looks like she lost weight, like she was really sick. Yeah, well, she played well last game. Yeah, some of the other teams, like the good playoff teams, have more depth than they do. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Katie Lou. Something's wrong with her. Alyssa Smith's so inconsistent. She's infuriating to watch. And she doesn't always make the effort on defense. And that's on her. Well, she lost the weight the last 3 weeks. She looks thinner now than she was like 3 weeks ago, like right before she got sick. So she lost. Maybe that's good, but she hasn't played well since she lost the weight. And she has to hit the threes, but she hasn't been hitting the threes either. Smith said she has days off. Maybe she's instead of traveling to be with Carrington, she should work on her game. It's Smith. Carrington's a jerk, so I don't know. I don't like her. So many jerks in this league. Who would have thought it's such an unlikable league? No wonder they're so unpopular. It's just, oh, what a nightmare. I don't know. I don't know if Kelsey Mitchell's underrated or not. She may be underrated for how she's playing right now, but the reason she was not rated higher before was because she didn't play team ball and she didn't always play defense like she was capable of. So to be fair to the people rating her, she's capable of being a top 10 player in the league. She's capable of being that. If she put the effort on defense and the concentration on defense and positioning on defense and started passing more and playing more team ball, I think she'd be a top 10 player in the league. She's the fastest person in the league. The only person that could be as fast as her is Carter, who's got that fast first step. Mitchell didn't like passing anybody. It's just Caitlin Clark's happened to be very noticeable because she wouldn't pass it back to her when she got it. She has great arc on her shot. I really like the way it goes up there and comes down. I mean, she could. Pokey destroyed the fever. Well, I don't know. I don't like players who don't play team ball. And I don't like players who don't play defense. Sorry. That's just me. Yeah, Mitchell wouldn't throw the ball to Clark. Pokey Chapman. Who's that? Anyways, want to donate to the channel? There's super chats and super thanks down below. Rob will be here Wednesday and Friday. It's 7 o'clock on Wednesday against the Aces, and 7:30 on Friday on Ion NBA TV on Wednesday. But we'll do both those games, and then what do they got after that? They got to play Dallas again. I think then the Mystics, if I'm not mistaken. Not looking at the schedule. Then, of course, they'll have at least 2 playoff games. More than that if they have a different coach. Yep, AJ's in a boot. I have no clue. I have no information for you on whether she's going to play. All I know is she's in a boot, and it doesn't sound like a season-ending injury, or they would have said something by now. I agree, Rebecca. It was very strange. It doesn't. They need to have Clark move without the ball when she doesn't have it more, but that takes energy. But it doesn't do any good to move if no one's going to set her a screen or a pick. You know. I'd like to see video of them laughing about that. You really have video, Rebecca, of them laughing? Boston was in shock. I think she just shook her head like this. I don't think she wasn't laughing. I thought she was a little slow to go over to help her, but I think she didn't want to get in Carter's face because Carter's a psycho. Although she should have. She's bigger than Carter. But what were the other three teammates on her? They didn't come up to see if she was okay. That was weird. The lack of reaction by the three players on her team. I'm trying to remember who was on the court at the time. I think it was Smith and Wallace and someone else. Yeah, I understand. She didn't. I don't think that's in her nature to almost start a fight with Kennedy Carter. But she seemed awful slow to go over there. I would have I guess she was in shock. It was kind of like out of the blue. I like Boston, so I don't think they're bad about her. I don't like the fact that she didn't come into camp in shape. She started the season not in shape. I don't like that. She had a long off season. She didn't play college last year. She was in the pros. Why didn't she show up in shape? I don't understand that. She only had to play 40 games last year. She had a long break after the WNBA season. That hurt him in the beginning. I thought she was out of shape. Anyways. So I'm gonna go watch the replay again when when Caitlyn got shoved to the ground. What the three other players did. I don't remember them doing anything but standing at the other end of the court. I would have at least rushed up to see if she was okay and given Carter a dirty look at least. They didn't do anything. That's why the NBA players called her teammates out, because they didn't do anything. And then she got knocked down by Reese in the same game by elbow. Nobody did anything. And she got knocked down in the head against Seattle. Nobody did anything. So then in the next game, Wallace finally stood up to somebody. And that was about it. She at least got in the person's face and said, I'm not having this. I'll give her credit for that. She heard the criticism. Let's put it that way. Kermit Washington is the assistant coach. It's funny you guys talking about enforcers and stuff, because Bill Laimbeer was a coach in the WNBA. I think he won some championships too. And he was the dirtiest player ever. Kermit Washington, that was the one that punched Rudy Trevanovic, right? Rudy Trevanovic. I can't pronounce his name. All right, Mark. We'll have him do that. Yeah. Rudy forgave him. And now Kermit, I think he's in jail right now. I think he did some kind of fraud action. Or he was in jail for like 6 years. And I think he just got out. He's on parole like last year or the year before. Rudy forgave him. I don't know if I would have. That was a punch. Wow. For no reason. Yeah, but you can get in their face without starting a fight. You don't have to push them. Like, that's what Wallace did. Wallace didn't start a fight. She just got in her face after they roughed up Clark that one time. Didn't start a fight. Didn't have to push anybody. You just let him know he's not going to put up with it. Yeah. So who's going to watch the football game today? I think I'm going to watch. I always watch. I don't like Aaron Rodgers anymore. His personality turned out to be a jerk. I'm a Packers fan, but I always like watching him play. Very talented. Dunn loves her. I know. Rebecca, don't remind me. Don't remind me. Dunn loves the same dinosaur play as her. Yeah, she's not firing her. You know, they make the playoffs. That's all. They're already making the playoffs, so you're not going to fire her. Why is Rodgers a jerk? Well, it's a long story, but there's a lot of things about him as being a jerk. They've been 3 hours long for a long time, though, Scott. So, anyways, fire Dunn. Fire Dunn and fire Sides, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, I saw the president resign. I don't know what the president does. He doesn't have anything to do with the basketball decisions, apparently. Yeah, hopefully Dunn will retire since he's not going to get fired, and then the new general manager will be more critical of Sides. Because if their contracts are ripped up after the 2025 season, Caitlyn Clark's not going to continue to play for Sides. She'll go somewhere else. She's not going to stay. She's not going to play for Sides. Why would you want to play for a coach who keeps telling her to slow it down? Another option year in my polls. All right. Anyways, it's 8 o'clock. And I am going to watch the game tonight. I don't know if I'll watch the whole game, but I'll watch the game tonight. I didn't watch all the pregame stuff, obviously. So I'll see you guys Wednesday night. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, there's super chats, super thanks down below. And there's Wednesday at 7 on NBA TV and 7:30 on Friday on Ion. So Rob and I will both be there. So Rob will be there. He said he doesn't have to work those nights. All right. Do I think CC will be a 10-year vet? I think she'll be a 15-year vet. And then she'll probably retire and have a kid. I think she needs to, play a dozen years or 15 years to establish herself as the GOAT. And I think she wants to be the GOAT. Yeah, I don't know if she can get sides removed or not. It's not that easy. Just because Magic did it doesn't mean it's always going to happen. So we'll see. All right. So see you guys. Good night, everyone. I'll see you Wednesday and Friday. Aces should be a good game, regardless of whether Wilson plays. They need those wins. I think they're stuck in 6 either way, but we'll see what happens. Enjoy your football if you're going to watch football. And I'll probably do a live football game next weekend. We have to decide which one. And Rob and I do 5 picks every week. You can join us for that. So, okay. All right. It was fun. Everyone, good night. Say good night, Dick. Good night, Dick. That's from the Smothers Brothers.